There was once a young man who looked completely normal from the outside. He smiled when people expected him to smile. He spoke when spoken to. He went to work. He returned home. But inside his mind, there was a storm. Every night, when the world grew quiet, his thoughts became louder. Memories of mistakes replayed like unwanted echoes. Fears about the future whispered constantly. What if you fail? What if you're not good enough? What if you never become anything? His mind never rested, and slowly he became tired. Not physically, but mentally. He wasn't weak. He was overwhelmed. One night, unable to bear the noise any longer, he left his home and began walking without direction. The city lights faded behind him. The air grew cooler. The road became a quiet forest path. For the first time in weeks, there was silence around him, but not inside him. As he walked deeper into the forest, he saw a soft golden light ahead. An old traveler stood there, holding a lantern. The traveler's eyes were calm, not curious, not judgmental, just calm. "Why do you look so tired?" the traveler asked gently. The young man replied, "My body is fine. It's my mind that won't let me rest." The traveler reached into his bag and pulled out 2 stones. One was dark, rough, and heavy. The other was smooth, light, and warm to the touch. "Hold this," he said, handing over the heavy stone. Within seconds, the young man felt strain in his arm. "This," the traveler said, "is what happens when you carry every regret, every fear, every doubt, without ever putting them down." Then he handed him the smooth stone. The weight felt different, balanced, calm. "You cannot stop thoughts from appearing," the traveler continued, "but you can choose which ones you carry." The traveler placed both stones on the ground. "Your mind is not your enemy," he said. "It is a tool. But when you let fear control it, it becomes a prison." The young man listened carefully. "You replay the past," the traveler continued, "but the past cannot hear you. You fear the future, but the future hasn't arrived. The only place your strength exists is now." For the first time, the young man felt something different. Not excitement, not sudden happiness. The traveler told him to close his eyes. "Imagine placing your worries on the ground like those stones." At first, the thoughts resisted. They shouted. They demanded attention. But he did not fight them. He simply watched them pass, like clouds moving across the sky. Slowly, the noise softened. The storm inside him began to quiet. And in that quiet space, he discovered something powerful. He was not his fear. He was not his doubt. He was not his past mistakes. He was the one observing them. And that meant he was stronger than them. When he opened his eyes, the forest looked the same, but he felt different, lighter. The traveler smiled. "The strongest people are not those who silence their minds," he said. "They are the ones who master them." By the time the sun began to rise, the traveler was gone. But the lesson remained. The young man walked back, not as someone who had solved every problem, but as someone who finally understood himself. And that understanding became his courage. For more inspirable stories, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon.